It's our first curb appeal by the car. I'm Beth Sager, and I have managed to buckle into my car two fabulous ladies to help me with this endeavor.
We were kidnapped.
So Lee Noel Chase from
Hello.
Chase Design Services,
Nice
who
to
has
meet
an
everybody.
architectural background, and
Demetra Tsekaris with
thank
Gardens
you. I'm
by
driving
Demetra.
and thinking, where am I going? Okay. Now I know. And we are going to go and drive by some homes and get out and give them your best curb appeal improvements.
Yep.
And I'm excited.
Yeah,
and of
it's
course,
gonna be
Kyle is our sidekick.
Kyle.
To, he's the pretty face.
He's so pretty, and his coffee smells so good.
Alrighty, good. We're at our first house. We're good.
Yay!
What do you have to say? How do we improve the curb appeal of this house? They opted for their new black windows, which is obviously a very trendy style these days.
Very
That's
good.
my real estate opinion.
Yep. No, I like
All right.
it, and it gives some definition, right? This otherwise houses of this size and shape, they tend to look like a big slab, so it's really nice to break it up.
Yeah.
The other thing that you can do is kind of zone it so that a very different thing is happening on the bottom floor than is happening up above. Like having it, trying to get the full height out of it never really works that great. Let the bottom half look different. Let there be a separation, and then the top half of the house, let it rise above. That can work really well. And sometimes people do that with plants, right, Demetra?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the plants, and I don't like plants in front of windows, so I would actually remove some of those foundation plants, bring the depth of it out so
Yeah.
that more layers and height can be added. And then I would just add a garden on the other side of the path, which I also think could be made with new material and be a
Right.
little wider and a more beautiful approach. And then just remove the grass on the other side so that it can be plants and it's easier to maintain. I do have to say that this island has an interesting tree and a dead thing, and the dead thing should go right away. That would make this much prettier. So, but I like the length of the house, and I think it would be fun to play with heights in the plant material as well.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Doing a garden next to these doorways in houses of this particular configuration with that sort of two-story cut in the front, they do so well when the area to the left of the door, right where Demetra was talking about, when that gets defined. And it can be with a trellis, it can be with gardens, it can be with a tree, but whatever you do, like fill that space, because that's really going to help the whole doorway have a presence.
Yep.
And I love, Demetra, you've said this before about layering. There's no layering here. It's like
Right.
flat house, flat, plantings in a row. Like take out the rows, like get some layers in there. That would do so much.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would say the couple other things would be to modernize the pendant light to match with the style of the windows.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really
and
good point. It's
then-
And
too
the
small.
I would
Posts.
take the siding and continue it so it's all cedar siding on the top, because there's a couple rows
Oh.
that are not the same.
Yeah, there's a little siding situation going on, so
Yeah.
that could get worked on. But Kyle, you're just right about the lighting. When you get the sconces around the doorway, let that glow instead of having a single light overhead, and then changing the post to match. Yeah, for sure.
Good
Those are quick
eye.
fixes.
Good eye.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
what
that
Alrighty.
is interesting about the siding. Now
Oh.
that's
Yep.
all I can see.
Run.
Yeah.
I thought it was decorative.
Yeah.
I thought it was a purpose, but it's not purposeful. I think it's
not
just
either.
There are
Yeah.
three
Then I would
different
be okay.
right.
three different
Yeah.
things happening,
Right.
and that's probably too many.
Yeah.
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 Interesting.
I
So-
think that's true.
All
I think
right.
that's true.
Well, hopefully they'll like all our suggestions.
Yeah.
And we'll come back next year and see what happens. So
So
that I thought that was a pretty house, though.
it's a
I do
cool
too,
house.
and I think it could be an extraordinary house with
Yeah.
a little bit of.
It's
Design
interesting that
thought.
so it was a 1960s-ish house, maybe late 50s, maybe 1955 to 1970 for sure. But that just adding the black windows really did modernize the house to a certain extent.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah. And they had pretty, fairly decently balanced openings to work with. Like I would say it might not work for every house, but it definitely worked for them.
So what?
I like the dark green of the Taxus, though. I think that's beautiful against that house, but it just doesn't have to just be that.
You've been curved.
You've been curved.
You've
You've
been
been
curved.
curved.